good morning, all of my crafty friends. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Daryl Walter of Pickled Peppers Creative Cafe at pickledpepperscreative.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am here to share something creative with you. So, good morning. Welcome into my craft room. Thank you so much for being here. If this is the first time you've been here, welcome. I'm super excited to have you. Saturdays are the days that I come to you in the morning with a crafty project, and that would be today. By the way, today is January 25th. 2025, so we're mostly through January, and we're mostly through January and getting closer to February, and because of that, I have elected to create a Valentine's Day inspired card with you today. So that's kind of what I have up my sleeve. So if you have been here before, of course, I am equally as happy to have you here. Welcome, and thank you so much for hanging out in my craft room with me. So, since we are getting close to Valentine's Day and we're mostly out of February, time is creeping. Do you think time is creeping? I feel like time is going so quickly. I fret about time a lot. You'll probably hear me talk about it because I fret about time a lot. But time is going quickly. And I have so many crafty things on my mind. It seems that I don't have the time that I would like to make them all. So that's why I fret about time. But good morning. Come on in. We'll chat for just a quick second, and then we'll get into the project that we're making this morning. Good morning, Polly. Welcome to my craft room. Good morning on this cold January 25th. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, say hi in the comments below. Let me know that you're watching. Give a thumbs up if you love what we're creating. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when I am posting content. And if you're on Facebook, welcome. Interact with me as we are creating. I love to chat with you. If I miss your comment or question for some reason, I'll go back after the live portion is finished and I'll chat back with you. Sometimes Facebook decides what they show, so I don't always see the comments, or they're moving too fast and I'm paying attention to my hands. But either way, I love to talk with you, so talk with me. Good morning, Patty. Good morning. Welcome to my craft room. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. How are you guys, by the way? Are you having a crafty January? I hope so. All right, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Just a reminder, we're not going to get into it today, but I do want to remind you that the celebration campaign is going on. It goes from, as you can see, from January 7th to February 28th. You can earn free product that you can select from this brochure just by shopping or by hosting a gathering if you want to, or by purchasing the starter kit. So that's going on. That's my PSA for this morning. And then, I have this down because we're going to talk about what we're using today. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk about what we're using today. The products that we're using today are from the new January through April mini catalog. And we are going to be using a stamp set and paper from this catalog. Oh yeah, this is the right page. I think we're kind of going out of order here a little bit. But on page 54, we are going to be using the Hugs for Love. Can you see that? We're going to use the Hugs for Love stamp set. And it comes with the stamp set here and this coordinating punch. So we're using both this morning. And then for designer series paper, we're using the bokeh dots. Look at the scrumptiousness. I just have to show you this before we turn to the bokeh dots. Isn't that butterfly the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? I love it. Can't wait to show you guys that one. But here are the designer series papers that we're using today. And so it is bokeh. They're all bokeh dots. And we're going to be using this one. This is Berry Burst. But you know what else? Let's take a look at it. So Stampin' Up! Helps us by listing... here, let's grab some glasses. That writing is really small. But they list on the reverse side of the designer series paper all of the coordinating colors, if you didn't know that, if you're new. So you can see them there. So I was curious about the other pinkish looking color, but it must be Fresh Freesia. Because that's what Stampin' Up! Tells us that it is. There is some Calypso Coral in there too, Balmy Blue, Berry Burst, which we are focusing on, and then Daffodil Delight. You know, I took the easy route, and I picked the Berry Burst because it's, you know, it can be Valentine's. So this card doesn't have to be Valentine's, but today I am making it Valentine's. But I should have challenged myself. Oh no, is this Fresh Freesia? I don't know, you guys. This looks like Bubble Bath. I'm confused. There is some Fresh Freesia there too. Good morning, Beth. Welcome to my craft room. Thank you so much for hanging out this morning. You got us just in time. We haven't started yet. We're talking about the products that we're going to be using today. So yeah, I thought this was Bubble Bath, and I bet you it would work with Bubble Bath. We probably could use either of those. But so I won't flip through all of the designer series paper. I will turn it over though, because there are different patterns on the reverse side. Let's just take it out. Now just kind of spread them out so you can see what's here. Oh, that's interesting. There's some Calypso Coral there. So yeah, this is what the reverse side looks like. So all bokeh on the face side. And then it would have been fun to create a Valentine's Day card using a non-traditional color, but we'll save that for a different day. All right, let's put this aside. Today's card is a bit of a fun fold and easy peasy. So you will be able to, oh, there we go. You'll be able to make lots of them if you are in a card making mode and you need quick cards that are easy to recreate. So I have here the piece that I said we were going to be using from the bokeh dots. That is there. I have some basic white for scrap. We're going to stamp on it. And then of course I have Berry Burst, and for our card base I have the thick basic white. So basic white comes in two thicknesses. One I call regular, and then the other is thick. You use the thick for card bases. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of cutting. I'm going to bring in my most utilized tool in my craft room. It is my Stampin' trimmer. I do love it, and I use it quite a bit. And we're going to cut the card base. So let's grab our piece of thick basic white. And I'm going to score it. So it is 8.5 by 11. I have the 11-inch side up, so the short side up to the top of the trimmer. Let's scooch it down a little bit so you can see. I am going to score this at 4 1/4. That's halfway. So if you don't have a trimmer that you're using, or you're using scissors or some other tool to cut, you can simply fold it in half the long way. And what that's going to do is we're going to turn it around, and we're going to cut it in half this time at the 5.5 point. That's going to give us 2 card bases, but we only had to score once. So here are both of them. We don't need them both, so we'll put one aside for later. Let's tuck that here for safekeeping for the time being. And then we have a little bit of cutting to do on our card base. Let me scooch this aside just a little bit. I want to go ahead and burnish on the score line with my bone folder. My bone folders, the logos don't last very long. I use them quite a bit as well. All right, so here we have our card base. We're gonna open it because we're gonna cut on the front side of our card front. We're gonna cut. We're gonna make 2 cuts actually. So the first cut, we're going to take a piece off that is 2.5 inches. So right off the edge. Well, let's get back down where you can see. Maybe I should have moved the camera down a little bit so we can see the top of the trimmer. So we're going to cut this piece off at 2.5. So quick little cut. And this is what we have remaining. And then on the remaining piece, we're going to cut it down to 1.5. So I'm going to scooch it over, cut to 1.5. We need this 1.5 inch piece, and the other piece you don't need. I like to save these because I stamp sentiments on them. So I'm going to put it in my keep pile. And then let's go ahead and cut our designer series paper. So we're going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper. They're both going to be 5.5, so I am going to cut this right down to 5.5. And that way, when I turn, we'll get the 2 pieces that we need. This is scrap. We'll throw that away. Okay, so we need one at 1 1/4 of an inch and one at 2 2/4 of an inch. And I hope I measured these right. I did not put this card together off camera, so I'm hoping that my dimensions are correct. Okay, and then we need one that's 1 1/4 inch, and then I think that's all of the paper cutting that we have to do, as long as we have this the way that we need. Let's just try it out. Oh no, we need that piece to be exactly the same actually. We need it to be 1.5. So we may have cut these wrong. Let's see. So let's cut this at 2.5. Okay, so let's erase what I said. Let's erase what I said. 1 3/4. There we go. Okay, so we need 1 piece of DSP that is 1 3/4. I was going to leave a border there, but I think I don't want to leave a border. I want to cover up the entire piece if we can. Yeah, that's better. And then our bottom piece is 1.5, so we're going to cut that right down to 1.5 as well. So let's scooch over to the 1.5. Oh, that's the score. Okay. Did I tell you, by the way, that our Stampin' Trimmer scores as well as cuts? There we go. I want to cover that entire piece up. I want the whole front of the card at top and bottom to look like that berry burst. All right, so I've left myself with a couple of scraps. I'm going to save them, and we're going to chuck that away. All right, I think we're back on track. So did you keep up with that? All right, I think we have 1 3/4 and 1.5. All right, so I need my bone folder. Let's go ahead and burnish this down again. It's not laying completely flat because I stretched it open to cut. And let's go ahead and adhere our designer series paper so I don't have to keep up with it. If it floats around on my desk, I am almost certain to lose it. All right, so this piece goes on the top. Looks like it might be just a tad, like a micromillimeter too thin, a 1/16 of an inch. 1/16. Do you guys ever cut in 1/16 of an inch? I don't. I will cut at an 1/8 of an inch if I have to. Sometimes I prefer not to, though. I really prefer not to. I try to create at 1/4 inches or above, and none of the thirds, just 1/4, just things that are divisible by 1/4 of an inch. All right, and so we're going to put the, cover that smaller piece that we made. Let's turn it this way. I hope you guys aren't getting a glare. I didn't cover my glass mat this morning. I don't know why. I just jumped into creating. Good morning, Marie. All right, so let's set this aside. We're going to do a little bit of stamping, and then you'll see what we do with the remainder there. So we're going to do a little fussy cutting too. I think we'll do a little fussy cutting. So we're going to start out. We didn't take a close look at the stamp set, the Hugs for Love that we're using. But there is a Happy Valentine's Day. You see that? You make me smile. Lots of hugs and kisses. You and I are the best team. Let's go to the other side. A little bit of glare. Life is better with you, and sending you a big hug. So I'm not sure which sentiment we're going to use. I like the big hug, so maybe we'll use the big hug. But then also you can see there are a series of hearts. There's even a little strip of hearts if you missed that. So we'll fussy cut a couple of the hearts. And then the coordinating punch, there are a couple of borders that you can use. And we're going to use, let's use the one with the hearts on it. Here's that punch, by the way. And then in terms of ink, I brought along Early Espresso and Black Memento because I'm not sure which one. I like to sometimes stamp in the Early Espresso if I think that the Black Memento is too stark. And then I did bring Bubble Bath over and Berry Burst. So Burst. Remember I told you when we were looking at the designer series paper, the one that said Fresh Freesia looked like Berry Burst, so we might use the Berry Burst the Bubble Bath as well. I apologize if I said Berry Burst. All right, and so we're going to start by stamping the background with the hearts on it. I really like that border with the hearts. Be careful too when you're pulling these off. Kind of go around the outside, around the perimeter. You see I'm doing that. I learned the hard way. I grabbed one at one time. Oh, good morning, Anna. Yes, Marie, the stamp set is so cute. I grabbed it once and pulled it really quickly, and I ripped the stamp. The first day that I got it, it broke my heart, but it taught me a very valuable lesson, right? It taught me that I should take my time sometimes and not be so hasty. So it's a lesson that I remember. Also, I am sometimes a person that will make the die cut and then stamp on it later. I don't have the confidence with this one. Not at all. All right, so we're going to grab the Berry Burst. Let's go ahead and grab that out. I'm going to ink it up. And we'll get a chance to see what this stamp looks like when you actually apply it to paper. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll put it here. I think we have plenty of room for the hearts that we're going to. Oh, it's cute. Very cute. Look at that. Sweet and quaint, huh? All right. So we'll set this aside. I'm going to close this up because I'm an ink magnet, or at least my fingers are, especially when it comes to red inks. In fact, I think I'm going to just wipe my fingers. Let's grab a diaper wipe. The last thing I want to do is put red finger marks all over the card we're making. Oh, yeah, see? Smart move. I am a messy stamper. All right, I'm going to keep that. We may need that. All right, and then we'll go ahead. Let's go ahead and put the sentiment inside too. I said that big hug. I think I like that big hug, so let's grab it. We might as well, since we're already at the point of stamping. Grab the big hug, and we're just going to stamp that down in the center. And I think I'm just going to use the Berry Burst for that also. I'm okay with that. I think we'll do a matchy-matchy. It would be nice to have a little bit of contrast, but I am not really sure. I think now looking at this, that the black memento would be a good choice for that Berry Burst. I can't be 100% though, and I know that the Berry Burst will go with the Berry Burst, so I'm just going to play it safe. And we'll put that sending you a big hug right in the center. There we go. I'll put that aside. Let's take it off and I'll wipe my fingers now. Stick this back on there. Give a good wipe. Let's close this up for now. And I'll show you what we're going to do with the sentiment. And we actually need the sentiment. We need to adhere this sentiment first before we add any other stamps to it. So we're going to go ahead and punch. We're going to punch our sentiment stamp out. And I'm holding this upside down. I'm going to tip it towards me so I can kind of position it so that I know we're getting a good punch. There we go. And I'm going to punch it right out. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in the Berry Burst cardstock. And we're going to make another punch. Just punch this right out. And let's put the punch aside. And then what we're going to do is grab a pair of scissors, and we're going to cut this Berry Burst piece right in half. This is one of my favorite little tricks because it's simple to do. It's very simple to do, and it's quick. It's quick. All right. And so I'm going to add, we're going to turn over our sentiment layer. Let's put these back. And I'm going to add a bead or a strip of Stampin' Seal Plus to each of the edges. And then I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to use these two pieces as a border. So I'm just going to line it up and give it as much of a border as appeals to my heart. And that looks pretty good. Isn't that a cute, fast and easy trick? We're going to turn it around and do the same thing on the top. So we want both of the shadows that we're creating to be about the same size. I'm okay with eyeballing it. I'm an eyeball kind of girl. We'll give it a good press, and this is what we have. So that's a quick and fun little tip. Now, let's get back to the card base. And we're creating a little bit of an open window. So this bottom piece is kind of floating. And what I'm going to do is line it up with the bottom of the card. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the card. And then we're going to give our sentiment layer some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're going to plop this right down. And this is going to hold the two layers together. So let's grab some dimensionals. And I'm just going to put them on the top and bottom. So we'll use 4 of them. You can use more if you feel more secure. The one thing that you want to do is avoid the center though, because then you may stick your sentiment to the back of the card in that opening, and we don't want to do that. And you know what else? I think I'll show you something else too that we can do. Okay, let's put that aside for a minute, and we're just going to decide where we want this. And I kind of want it mostly to the right edge, not the edge, but towards the right side, I should say, not smack dab in the middle. And we'll adhere this right down. And so this is what we have so far. So you see how that element is kind of floating. And what it did, you could cover this up too, by the way, if you wanted. I can see that my dimensionals are still over where I wanted them to be. I should have put them down a little bit lower. So if you make this card, that's just something for you to know. So we have a little floating element. The cool thing about it is that we have a little bit of room here in this window to stamp. So what we could have done is taken maybe the Happy Valentine's Day. Actually, let's do it. We'll see if we can fit the Happy Valentine's Day here, because it kind of goes. I think it kind of flows. Happy Valentine's Day, sending you a big hug. Let's try it. Let's try it and see if we like it. Another thing we could do is maybe there are smaller hearts. Maybe we can stamp, a heart there. Yeah, let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. So I'm going to turn this around so I can see what we're doing. And I wonder if we can get 3 hearts in there. Let's put one in the center. This little heart will fit there. And what if we make it bubble bath? Let's do it. Let's be daring this morning. Are you guys going to be daring with me? Okay. We're going to take the bubble bath. I'm going to kind of put this to the side. We'll give it a nice ink up. And keep your fingers crossed, everyone. I'm going to put this right down in the center. Oh, it's very faint, but it is there. Let's show. Can you see that? So I use the lighter color because I want to see if I can get three of these hearts in there. And so I'm going to bring in the Berry Burst and put them on either side. And I think they're going to fit fine. I wonder what they would look like if I overlap them a little bit. Let's see. Put it very close and stamp that right down. Oh, I love it, you guys. I love it. And, I'm not so confident there. I don't want to get, let's clean our block off. I don't want to get any extra ink where we don't want it to be. So I'm going to clean around this before we stamp that final heart down. I think I already got some on the sentiment layer, but that's okay. Perfect. right, there we go. And then we're gonna fussy cut one of the larger hearts. We're gonna add it to the bottom here with some dimensionals, and I kind of like this one. So let's do that. We're also going to do it in the berry burst. And then we can add a little embellishing, and our quick and easy card is going to be done. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to stamp this down with the berry burst again. You know, Blackberry Bliss might have been good with this card too. Stamp this right down. I think that it would go pretty good with the with that berry burst. Let's go ahead to, I'm gonna stamp this heart as well. And then we'll choose which one we like. I swear, red ink is a magnet to my fingers. Even if it's, I don't care, any variation of red. All right, stamp this down as well. So we're gonna fussy cut both of those out. And then we'll decide which one we'll add. And actually, so I might be able, remember I said I made a little bit of an ink smudge, we may be able to cover that up. All right, let's bring in some scissors. Let's make ourselves a little room here. And we'll bring in some scissors and we'll do a little fussy cutting. And the nice thing about this is that these hearts are pretty big, so there's not a lot we have to do. We could, with this piece though, we could cut both of those hearts out if we wanted. The smaller one in the center, but we're not going to do that. For all of you that fussy cut, who still fussy cuts? Does anybody fussy cut? I feel like we have so many tools. Even for me, it's true. So many tools that, you know, cut shapes out. I feel like I rarely ever, I never ever think of fussy cutting. Every once in a great while, like today, and the fact that I wanted these hearts with this particular stamp bundle, there was no way around it because there's not a heart that matches it. So sometimes it will happen where I'll be in a bit of a pickle like now, and if I want the shape, I have to fussy cut it because there's not much I can do. When I fussy cut, I like to leave a little bit of a border around. Oh, Polly, yes, you're my kind of girl. So there's something relaxing about it, right? Even though it's it can be a bit tedious, I don't mind it. I love fussy cutting. I don't do it a lot because, you know, it's if you have matching cutting tools, then, you know, it's just easier to do. But I don't mind it at all. All right, so do you think we can get away with that big heart right there? Let's look at the pattern heart too. We're gonna decide which one that we're gonna use. I don't think we can use both of them. And this one I was going to put there. I just thought since we got a little bit of a smudge that there might be a way to cover it up. But I can always stamp it again because that is a thing. I can tell you that I am in no way hurting for any type of cardstock or or designer series paper. I have plenty. So I could, if it's too bothersome, I could pop it up and just repeat that layer. But one of the things that I like to do, if it's possible, is cover it up with an embellishment or a fussy cut heart. By the way, You guys, I brought 4 different embellishments out because I wasn't sure how I wanted to use them. Okay, so you guys tell me, can we get away with a heart on this side? Is it off balance? Or shall we put it where we initially were going to? I think I like this one better. Yeah, I think for the weight of it, we have these little hearts going here. So let's go ahead and put it up, pop it on this side. So since our sentiment layer is already on dimensionals, to balance it out, I'm going to put a Stampin' Dimensional at the bottom and maybe here at the top. And then on the back of this little, I don't know what you want to call it, half circle of the heart, I'm just going to put a little bit of Seal Plus. So that should help us balance that out. So here's the Seal Plus. Let's go ahead and add that down. There we go. And then we're going to put a Stampin' Dimensional in the other 2. They're not corners. On the other rounded side of the heart. I wanted to call it a hump. That just doesn't seem, that doesn't seem right, hump, but that's what I want to call it, the hump on the heart. All right. And let's peel these adhesive backs off. The adhesive backing, I should say. Did I get the other one? Yeah, looks like I did. All right, and then we're just going to add this here. Pop that right down, and I'll show you. So can you see how we got, how we kind of got it on the right level? All right. The final thing we have to do is add some jewels. Let me clean up my mess here. That's gonna bug me. Oh, I better not throw that. I better not throw that away. I think we're done with ink though. All right, so in terms of embellishments, oh, we have this lonely little heart. Too much for this. We'll put it aside. Maybe I'll repeat the card and use the solid heart, but I like this one better. All right, so in terms of embellishments, I have something I wanted clear or white because we have a lot of berry burst going on here, right? So these are pecan pie and clear. So of course I'm thinking about the clear. I went through and got all of the clear or white dots that I could find immediately. So anyways, the iridescent pearls, basic jewels, we have those, which I'm kind of liking those because they're picking up that berry burst. And then we can never go wrong with regular rhinestones. Never, ever, ever. And then the iridescent faceted gems. There we go. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. And you know, these gems also pick up, they also pick up some of that berry burst, but I think I'm feeling the iridescent pearls. So let's go ahead and grab them out and decide where we are going to place them. So for that, I need to turn the card towards me. Oh boy, I don't know. I feel like in this area, but if I do that, we're going to need a couple. All right, let's do it anyways. And grabbing the larger ones. And do I want it in the heart or below the heart? Let's do below the heart. We'll keep it on only the berry burst. So I'm using my usual 3. Sometimes I'm tempted to use 5. Always an odd number though. Science says that our eyes are more attracted to odd numbers. And I don't know if this is science, but in my own estimation, I think my eye at least strays towards asymmetric. All right, here we are. And then let's take a peep on the inside. And we can stamp our sentiment. So if I were stamping a sentiment, which I could do, let's put the Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to put it right here below the hearts. And I am going to use Basic Black, or I'm sorry, Basic Black. That's the color. We have Basic Black. I'm using Black Memento. I can't believe I said Basic Black. Black Memento is my favorite black to use. It's like a true black. Let's see if I can find another little black here. It's a true black. And it stamps so good. Sometimes black ink comes off a little gray or grayish to me, I think. And Black Memento doesn't do that. I just want to make sure that the sentiment stays hidden. And hopefully this looks pretty juicy. I think I re-inked this not that long ago. Yeah, it's a little juicy, but it will work. Oh, I like the black. Okay. I was uncertain at first, but here we go. The other thing I was going to tell you is you could totally cover this up if you wanted. You would just make another white punch, right? You'd make another white punch and put it on the reverse side. And that way you don't have to see the work that we did. And you don't have to worry about your Stampin' Dimensionals hanging a little bit over the edge. All right, so here's our quick, I think it was pretty quick. What, it took us maybe 20 minutes or so. And then there's the inside, our little secret. All right, and then let's talk about what we used to make this simple little card. And like I said, it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, and you can use any designer series paper that you have in your stash. We used the Hugs for Love. Thank you for the heart. Thank you. We used the Hugs for Love. And it's a bundle, so there is a coordinating heart. Stamp set. There is a heart there, so you can use it for Valentine's Day. And the Happy Valentine's Day. A big hug, or just love in general. Hugs and kisses. You and I make the best team, or you make me smile. So the bundle is 10% off. We found it in the catalog that is for January through April. So it's the current mini, page 56. Now, page 39. I was way off. Oh, this is the designer series paper. Maybe I'm right. 54. So on page 54. In fact, look what Stampin' Up! Has done, which is super, super cute. Can you see on the bottom here? And they used it to cut the plaid designer series paper. That's super, super cute. So it's on page 54 of the January through April mini catalog. Bundles are 10% off. Do you see that? They're always 10% off when they're first introduced into a publication. And then really stamps, ink, and paper is what we used here. And our punch, so we used, I keep looking on the back, the Iridescent Pearls Basic Gems. We use those for an embellishment. All right, you guys, that is my share for today. If you're making Valentine's cards, this is just a simple and quick way to make one with a little bit of a fun fold to it. So, all right, let's go ahead. Thank you, Polly. Thank you so much. I will turn the camera up so that I can see your lovely faces. Hello there. Let's see. I don't want to drop you guys. I've done that before. I've dropped you on your head. Oh, we're not tight enough. Get my little fingers in there. There we go. All right, you guys, thank you so much for allowing me into your space. Thank you for creating with me and hanging out in my craft room. I hope that you have a fantastically crafty weekend. I'll be back here with you next week, same place, same time. Until then, be crafty and have fun.